Now, of course, last episode, I promised you guys exploration, and boy, are we going to do that today, but there is still a couple of things left on our to-do list before we can start exploring. And on that to-do list is going to be a teensy little bit more of the Oritech. Now, what I'm going to need from Oritech today is to be able to hopefully make plastic sheets. Now, not automate it, but at least be able to make a few plastic sheets and have the machines ready to go for this. So I went ahead and made a centrifuge, which we are going to need for this process. Actually, we're probably going to need more than one centrifuge down the road, but this should allow us to get started. Now, I need to use that centrifuge right off the bat to make a machine fluid add-on. This means I need to be able to make carbon fiber strands. Yeah, that's a pretty complicated thing, but if I go ahead and place this machine down, we're going to notice this thing doesn't really require too much. And we're really just going to need to place a single machine core on top, and whenever we activate this thing is so cool. Look at that. Oh, it like expanded out. Okay, but the real cool thing is when this is actually functioning. So when we give this some power, we should be able to take some charcoal now, and we can have this to start processing some rods. We just need carbon dust, and we can get this a multitude of different ways. I think the easiest way, though, is to simply send it into our sag mill. However, I did make a pulverizer, which we are going to eventually need. Thankfully, the pulverizer, that's a really simple machine. It doesn't even require to have a core block or anything. So just to see the difference in speed, though, I'm going to send it into the sag mill, and then over here as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it in the sag mill for now. We will, however, still need this machine. This pulverizer is actually going to be used for some biomass production, which we're going to need to get into eventually. Now, beautiful. Let's take our dust and toss it over here. And this is going to get to work. And when I said this has really cool animations, look at that. That is going to be one of the coolest things I've seen, and I really love this mod for these animations. Super reminiscent of like the Satisfactory Machine animations, if you've ever played that game. It's a really good one if you haven't already. And with that set up, just in time for another airdrop out in the distance. I definitely want to go check this out and see what goodies this is going to offer this time. It seems like they're getting increasingly better every single time. Ooh, we got some blaze block. And we got an energy upgrade. Yeah, we got an echo shard. And we're getting all of this essence. Okay, there's a lot of essence. Phantom boots. Okay, now these are interesting. What is its ability? Oh, we have to figure out how to tie this all together. Please tell me this one is as simple as, oh, connecting it up. Oh, it's not. Well, we could use XP to also learn this by using the hints here. Now, speaking of XP, I wanted to show you guys something really cool that you can do with the Just Dire Things experience holder. If you go inside of your experience holder and you click the show area button or render area button, you can move this around with these buttons right here until you get it into a position where you would normally stand. And then what you can do is you can turn on the collect experience button, and then you make sure that redstone signal is set to ignored, and then you can set the level that you want your player to constantly keep and also keep at. So when I stand here, I should bump up to 10 levels. Now to make this faster, you set this to tick speed of 1, so it happens every tick. But this is really, really cool. So I can stand here and I can actually modify my experience level just by changing this number here by either right clicking or left clicking. So I can set this to 30 levels and it will keep me at a constant 30 while I'm enchanting. That's so cool. So for example, on these phantom boots, if I need a couple of hints on this, I can just click the hint button after, well, closing these out. I think I can simply click these to remove them. Yeah. And then we can get some hints. So we know that's correct and that's correct. And we can start to possibly formulate the connections here. Maybe these are just like this. And is there any others? We can get a hint. Ah, that's connected together. Do these connect? They do not. So maybe we can get another hint. Ah, the bottom needs to be connected. So there we go. So we saved a little bit by trying to solve some of these manually, but perfect. Creates a temporary phantom bridge beneath the player's feet. Oh, so that way you can walk. If the player stands on the bridge for more than 0.6 seconds, they will fall through and cannot get back up until they reach solid ground. Wait, does this have a cooldown? Does this mean I can just like walk indefinitely in the air? Whoa. Okay, now that is really cool. Whoa. That is so cool. I've never used that before. I love how this game is turning me into a shoe collector. I'm just going to start collecting different useful shoes from this point forward. Now, you may have noticed that I don't have a whole lot of pressure inside of my boots here. Well, that is primarily because I added some volume upgrades. And this allows me to essentially charge up our boots significantly more. I think it increases the amount of air it can actually hold ×2 for every upgrade that you have inside here. At least that's what I'm getting by this right here. Yeah, math formulas. Yeah, 2 times and then the square root of u, if I understand what u is. Yeah, I think it says example ×2 for one upgrade, ×4 for one upgrade, so it's like exponential is what it kind of looks like. All right, now perfect. While I'm charging those up, I do have my carbon fiber strands, very nice, and I can use this to make a fluid add-on. And we're going to need this along with some seeds because if I take some of these wheat seeds, for example, we can convert them into biomass inside of our pulverizer. And we're going to need that biomass. So while this is pulverizing up the seeds and has a really nice animation here, oh man, this should hurt you when you stand on here. What I can do is I can add on the machine fluid add-on, and we're going to have to send water to this. Eventually, we're going to have an easier way of moving water around, but for right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one of those fluid pipes over there and have it reach around. And so we just need to place the upgrade right here on the side. And I would assume as soon as we interact with this machine, our cable should connect. Possibly? Does this have to go? Oh, maybe this is actually the inlet for the water. That could very well be. I mean, if anything I can try, is that now going in? Or do I have to actually apply the fluid directly to the machine? See, these are the things that are a little bit more confusing. Now that seems like it might be working. Okay, so yeah, when I add this, now it added me the ability to just pipe right into the machine, but I'm able to power this from the top. Okay, so not too bad, just a little bit of confusion, and I'm working things out. I'm learning as I go. So now we do need another machine for this, and this is the assembler. We did make this last episode. I'm going to place this down, and then this is going to need more cores, and let's see what this bad boy looks like. Oh, that is so cool looking. So this right here is the assembler machine, and just like all of the other ones, it is going to need some power, so I got that all hooked up. And we're going to need this to convert our material here with wood into solid biofuel. That allows us to make the raw bipolymer. And then we need to mix the raw bipolymer inside of the fluid separator, which is this right here. The centrifuge is now a fluid separator, I do believe. Once you add that fluid upgrade, that is. And there we go. This right here will grant us raw bipolymer. Wait, actually, go back. Let's see. This is the fluid separation. Wait, so we got to do this once to create the raw bipolymer, and then we do it one more time to make this. Okay, so we're going to need like 2 of these, 2 or 3 of these, I do believe at some point. So it is a little bit to wrap your head around. Honestly, though, not too bad here. So I'm going to take the biomass, throw that in with some planks, and it looks like I do need to separate this out, right? I think so. Take a look at the recipes yet again. All right, so I don't know, does it have to be specific, like with it on the top? It does take 8 seconds, it looks like. It does have to be very specific. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I wonder if we're able, okay, filter slots from left to right, move to the next, fill evenly, match recipe. That's the one that we would want to match this recipe and lock these slots. I'm assuming that's what this does. Beautiful. So now we technically have the ability to make plastics. I'm going to take the solid biofuel and then we're going to toss that over here. This is then going to get spun up and we've got to do this technically twice. And believe it or not, I just tricked you into producing HDPE sheets. This is, yes, technically HDPE sheets. They are interchangeable actually in this pack with mechanism. So yeah, we just made HDPE sheets, but using Oritech. And honestly, this is way easier to understand than the process that is the mechanism one. And blah, blah, blah. No, there we go. Fantastic plastic. Voila, we've done it. Now, can we please move on to the exploration stuff? Yes. With that, it's now time to move into the next chapter, which is Under Pressure. Okay, never mind. You know the song. So, just a little bit of pressure. We now made our module, allowing us to go deeper underwater. And we have night vision, so we should be able to see a little bit easier, but it does recommend some mining options here, and it does mention a ring. Now, the mining options it recommends is either using just dire lasers, or using the dire lasers, the mining lasers, or using ours. The interesting part about ours is I'm assuming that at some point we could potentially have some ours gear that is pretty nice. And there is ours equipment that allows you to swim underwater freely without needing to even breathe. And it's a good option, but I'm thinking mining lasers might be really fun. And I think eventually that's probably the way that I will want to go, is by using the actual mining lasers. But it's going to be very costly on power. And at the moment, we just don't have enough power to be able to charge things up. And I've not dove into other options just yet for wireless player charging. So for now, I might just use the ours method of mining underground. And this is a really, really powerful method anyways, because if we make a break spell, this spell, we can do a projectile break, and then we can have it pick up the stuff. And it'll just put it right into our inventory. So this simple spell is very, very powerful. If I just want to, for example, break this block, all I have to do is just do that. And that block is now in my inventory, meaning that we can do things like break spawners at a large range. Very, very handy. And we can also use this to place in lights. So if I go in here and I set another spell, we can do projectile and conjure mage light. And we can call this light, or let there be light, or whatever you want to call it, right? So light. But the cool part is we can assign hotkeys to these particular spells. Now I like to just have break as my basic spell, and then use F, for example, to place light sources. Inside the config here, for example, it says spell slot 1, which is our break, and spell slot 2, which I like to set to F. And if I don't have any horrible conflicts, oh, it looks like our tool belt opens up. I'll have to remove that. You can see we can place these mage lights. A couple of tips, by the way, with the mage lights, if you didn't know, you can change the color of them. So you can make them rainbow, or you can even set them completely off like this. And whenever you cast a mage light, it will essentially be invisible. And another cool thing, these can actually displace water. Yes, that's right. So if you want to, for example, keep water in this slot right here, these lights will prevent the water from flowing out. Did you learn all the tips today? Now, before we head out, there's a few things in the quest that it wants us to make. For example, we are going to need to make a nautical eye, and this is going to allow us to search out some very special structures to allow us to get into the NauTec mod. It's a very interesting mod, by the way. And I cannot wait to show you some of the cool mechanics of it. But first, we are going to have to find them. Eventually, though, once we do find this, we can get ourselves an explorer's compass. And this might be a very powerful tool in our arsenal. But it also mentions to us floating AE2 meteors. So we should also be able to now find AE2 meteors and hopefully gain a flawless budding Certus quartz. Like, it's just going to give us one, which is going to make the process of getting more Certus very, very easy. And that means I can move away from this janky integrated dynamics and finally move into the real storage mod, Applied Energistics 2. Now, thankfully, some point in my journey, I did find myself a little bit of prismarine. So prismarine, very, very nice. We have that, so we can make ourselves the nautical eye. And I'm assuming the nautical eye works like an ender pearl, maybe? If I teleport up here, will we be able to tell? Or does it just lead us? Oh, I am throwing them. Okay, so yeah, it does work like an ender pearl. However, it doesn't consume the item. Oh, that's very interesting. I wish ender pearls worked like this normally. Now, before I make my way out, cardboard boxes for the win. And I almost wonder how cool would this be to just use our phantom boots and just walk our way out into the ocean This is gonna be one of the coolest things. And just walk our way out here until we find our location. I wonder if I can also just like boop myself over there. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so powerful. And I just need to continue my way. Wait. This is already turned around on me. No way this is turned around. No way it's right over here somewhere. Wait, it's gotta be. It's right here. It has already started to shoot itself into the water. Wait, what kind of structures are under us? I don't even see anything. Wait, it's gotta be down here though, right? It's pointing us right there. Let's see if I can't spam this enough until I find it. Okay, so it's leading me literally right here. You know what? I'm just going to follow this straight down, and I'm going to make sure this is in the fastest mode, and let's just teleport down there. We have our depth module. We have all of our depth stuff. We just need to make our way down. Straight. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, there's a catalyst in here. Okay. So there's supposed to be a structure directly underneath this. And I'm really hoping that we find this directly underneath. But it's not 100% guarantee. Or at least it wasn't last time I played with this mod. Now, something I will mention, it can be basically anywhere within a range around it. So if we just... Oh, don't die! What? Why? Those guys are so strong. At least getting back to this isn't going to be horrible. And once I equip my gear, we will hopefully not take breathing damage. The Trident guy will probably one-tap me, though. I think this is the real challenge. Once we get close enough, by the way, I think we are able to use this and hold down and teleport to this location. Oh, we're taking damage. We're taking damage. How can we even get it back without making a new suit? Okay, okay, I got it. Suit, teleport. Oh, at least we're higher. Wait. Will our grave is probably still down there. See, this is why I need to find the location so that way I can make this armor a bit stronger. It is super weak and I can't make the upgrades until we find the NauTec stuff. At least with this, I am able to recover my gear. Ooh, and kind of hold off for a minute until this stuff actually activates. All right, let's try this again. And this time, maybe we can avoid this guy. Okay, I did use my shield, which I should have used before. Thankfully, the shield helps a little bit. It's like their hitbox is in a very weird spot. Quit! Oh my gosh! Okay, these guys are absolutely impossible. I will say, though, I am kind of glad this is really close to the base, because otherwise, this would be one heck of a journey back and forth. So, here I go again. Wish me luck. I'm just going to try and grab it, pop back up, and... Oh... Hopefully I get left alone this time. Okay, down I go again, though this time I do want to try this a little bit differently. Okay, the structure is right over here. Let's try mining off to the side here a few blocks. So I'm going to go like right over here, for example, and I'm just going to keep mining down until hopefully we find it. And I'm going to do some peepholes. There is a good chance that it could be lingering around. What is this? What is it? Oh. Or there we go. Okay, beautiful. So just look for smooth basalt and also look for a little bit of regular basalt. This is it. Okay, let's take these boots off. Holy smokes. This is it. This is the place. And this is what we're looking for. Okay. This right here gives us a crowbar, gives us a guide for the mod, and this is a pretty cool mod. I'm pretty sure it was a mod jam mod, by the way, but we can use the crowbar, I think, to open the non-rusty containers. So there should be, yeah, there's crates over here. Yes, and these are going to contain some cool stuff from the mod, including prismarine, which is actually kind of interesting. All right. Oh, and we just found some more other interesting things. This is going to be so cool. Okay, so I'm collecting all of the resources that are in here, but before we can do anything, we technically need to find more of those machine blocks that were above. Wait, Aqua Walker? What does this do? Certain amount of time allows you to move on the surface of the water without falling. Oh, it's another water walking boot. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if I have that or not. Huh. Oh, and we got a hunter's belt, even though I don't think I can wear that just yet. Do we have a slot for the belt? No, because I'm wearing the lantern in the belt slot. Oh, man. Okay. Now, making this compound is not too bad. Getting these unlocked are not going to be super easy as well. This bad boy is the powerhouse. This is the thing that I need to find. Okay, so now that I've made it down here, what I'm going to want to do is place myself a portal, and this allows me to go right back into my base and go back and forth. How cool is this? And I'm going to make definitely use of this because we are going to probably need to travel back and forth because I'm going to need things like hoppers, for example. So let me grab about 4 or so hoppers. And I also need to check a few things. Like I wanted to check how much polished prismarine I had inside my stock. Now I do want to go up here because there was something important that was up here. And if I just simply go back into the water here, that structure that was up here, we should be able to take one of the items that was on top of it. Okay, this guy is going to bother me, isn't he? I need to take this item right here. Okay, so maybe I can quickly grab it. Okay, we did. Okay, I'm going to get out of here, get back down into the hole, I think. Oh, goodness. This is why probably marking that hole would have been a good idea. Where is the hole? Okay, it was a few blocks on this side, right? Yes, okay. Whew. Thank goodness. This is going to get kind of confusing, but hopefully we won't need too many more of these things. Now, we can actually craft them, believe it or not, and we're going to need 4 to be able to activate the power of this crystal. Now, making a bit of this prismarine can be easily done with an atomic reconstructor, and we just need a little bit of power and a redstone torch in order to get this to work really, really well. So a pressure plate is a pretty easy way to activate this thing. And so let's grab some quartz and we should be able to craft this. Oh, this is a really, really cheesy feeling way of doing this, but I really like this. Okay, so atomic reconstructor connected. Let's place ourselves, or right click this with a torch, put it in pulse mode, and then place that in front. And then all we have to do is turn off our magnet and just toss the quartz in front. The laser beam fires, and with some of the power that was built up in here, converted it into prismarine shards. And that is exactly what we're going to need to make 3 more of these aquatic catalysts. And just like that, we now have all 4 of the aquatic catalysts that are going to be needed for the next step. Now, this has changed since the last time I've played with this mod, and we did actually get an extra catalyst from our quest, but what we're going to actually need to do to be able to get this to work and activate is I recommend placing like 2 blocks, for example, away from this. And then what you can do is you can, from the backside facing this way, place it in to the crystal. This is kind of like an inventory slot where the other side, the face here, the place that's actually going to shoot the laser beam kind of has this like ornate texture to it. So we're going to need to do this on all 4 sides to really get this thing nice and fired up. So just like so, we're going to get those placed in. And this is where the interesting changes happened. This used to take kelp to fuel it last time I played with it. But I think the mod has been slowly updating because it was, like I said, originally a mod jam mod. So there's a lot of potential to be made with this mod. And it is really, really cool, the whole like laser mechanic that happens with this. So to show you how that looks, by default, let's go ahead and do this by hand. I'm just going to click in 1 prismarine here. The laser beam then kicks off. Prismarine here, laser beam is kicked off. Here, which you can see the ticks counting down, and here. And if all of them are fired at the same time, we will be able to see the laser beam fire at the bottom, which is the one that we're going to want. But as you've seen there, it ate through this fuel incredibly quick. So I can put 4, for example, in right there. Let's go ahead and make sure this is all stocked up. This one's stocked up. and it should fire, I think, a beam once all of them are active like this. Yep, and as I can see, it's not doing it. Thank goodness there's an airdrop to let me clear my mind for a second, so I can figure out exactly how this works. Okay, we got some ice skates. This is definitely Terraria now. And we got a glyph of orbit we can't use, but wait, we just got a blazing player transmitter. What? That allows us to have player charging. What? Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. This is incredibly powerful though, what we just found. Now I did a bit of testing and I think it is working because I went down there and I actually took some damage from this laser. But it's not rendering, no matter if I have shaders on or not. Something about the bottom laser isn't rendering, but it does seem like it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and split these items up again, and I'm going to place them all inside of here to make sure we have all of the lasers running. And the top lasers for some reason are rendering, the bottom one is not, but I think it is still working. So what I can do is I should be able to take this though and toss it down in the center and it will process. Okay, so yeah, it is working, oddly enough, as you can see here, and that's what we need to actually get those ingots. Oh, it's good to know that this is actually working. I think though, if you leave this here too long, it might actually destroy the items. I could be wrong, but yeah, I was like, oh, do I take damage? I take damage. No matter if I have shaders on or not though, for some reason, it is not rendering. You can see the laser beams. That's going to get confusing, but this is probably a small bug at the moment and will probably be fixed in the future. But thank goodness we have this stuff now allowing us to make armor upgrades for our suit. And we are going to need, I think, 4 per armor piece. There we go. As you can see, a maximum of 4 per piece. Now to make more of this stuff, I am going to need iron clusters. So I took my, my recipe card out for right now to let that process. And we can generate the other materials needed for this. For example, the prismarine crystals by using our sag mill, and we can start to process some of this up. Very nice. So we have plenty of crystals. Now, I wanted to take a look at some things that we can transform, and oh my goodness, we can make chorus fruit. And why is this important? Well, it does open up the possibility to make top tier Ars armor and many other things that are kind of gated by simply going to this dimension. It also means this technically grants us the ability to kind of access all of the wireless possibilities and wireless terminal options that are available for our current storage setup. Because Protochorus is literally just ender pearls and mineral berries. So now let's get ourselves some armor. I'm gonna kick this thing back on. Oh boy. And we should be ready to go. I'm going to toss all 60 down in here and let this thing rip. Hopefully I don't pick up. Oh, I did pick up the items. I'm going to toss it from here. Okay, there we go. So let that rip. That should process all of those ingots. And we are about to get a bit stronger with our gear. Now back in the assembler, we're going to need 42 diamonds to do this. And according to this, that's what we need, right? Oh yeah, that's right. This does care about the orientation of the recipe. And looky there, all of the armor upgrades that we can actually put into our suit. Oh, we are about to be, well, it's actually not that powerful, but it is going to be pretty nice to make sure that we are fully upgraded. So let's get the max that we can put in each of our pieces of gear, and then we'll be able to see and compare what this armor actually looks like. So just comparing this to netherite armor, this is already better than netherite armor. So we have 8 and 8. The helmet is actually more defense. It has more toughness. Overall, this is better than netherite gear. So yeah, definitely an upgrade. The only major limitation is, well, its enchantability. It can't really be enchanted from what I've experienced. However, though, it does appear like a recipe was added to allow us to soul bind this by simply crafting it with the book. Not going to do that just yet, but I'll keep that in mind in the future. Now, back to converting a few more items. For example, Protochorus. Why is this so important? Well, Protochorus will allow me to make an omnidirectional connector, and when we do more exploring, I can just simply access my storage from anywhere. So let's toss a few more items down into here. For example, the Protochorus that we can turn into regular quartz. This is going to be really nice. We could have done this, by the way, before. The Protochorus, though, is a little less efficient at actually generating the resources, where regular chorus is really good at it, especially when it's popped. But now we also want to do the compass. Now, this is actually part of the progression and is what is going to grant us with a way of just locating all kinds of structures. This is a very powerful item. Very powerful. And just to mention, you can add a mod to find it. For example, if I want to find an AE meteor, I can just do @AE or applied, and you can see you can actually filter by mod type. This gets really, really nice. Now, if we take this actual chorus and we pop it real quick, let's just do one for right now. We can then put that inside of the mechanical squeezer, and this is going to pop out too. Now, we are going to need 6 in total. So I'm going to actually take all but 1. Let's see if we can get enough out of this. I'm really hoping we can get 6. There we go. We get a bonus. Perfect. We got 7. And that's really all we need to get access to wireless stuff. So we need to make ourselves a logic director. This right here is all we're going to need. And then we can make ourselves an omnidirectional connector. So yes, this down here, we're going to need a couple of monodirectional connectors. So let's go ahead and request one of those. And then there we go. I think we should have plenty of those. Perfect. After a couple of crafts, we now have it. So we just need 2 of those things, which by the way, I should probably put them in my inventory because I think you get an achievement for that. Okay, no. And then we'll make this. Oh, beautiful. And we only need technically 1, even though these are sort of linked together. We really only need to connect 1 to our system to give us cross-dimensional access. So there we go, an omnidirectional connector. And then back into integrated dynamics, we just need to craft ourselves a portable storage terminal and then shift right click, I think, on the, or right click on the omnidirectional connector. And now we should have access to all of our storage. Yes, and this, I do believe, works cross-dimensionally, so long as this area is chunk loaded. Now, there is a hotkey right here under integrated terminals. I think if I set it to Control E, it might work, or we might have to set it to some other keybind. I think Control E might work, but it allows me to keep it in my inventory and hit Control E, yes, to open this up instead of, well, using, like, in having it in my hand and needing to right-click it, right? Oh, that's right. If I set it to Control E, every time, for some reason, after I open it up and hit Control, it will still open it up. So yeah, I'll figure out a key. Like I said, it's a little bit jank, but you know what? It's a nice solution until we get a Platinergistics set up. Speaking of that, we might want to get on the hunt and potentially find ourselves some early crystals. But that, my friends, will have to wait for another episode, because today we are just all out of time. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. I know, I really wanted to explore more, and I wasn't expecting that thing to be so close to the base. But we will be on the hunt next episode, because I think we are going to focus a little bit more towards getting AE set up and possibly dive into some other mods, unless we encounter issues. We'll see how it goes. So definitely join the Discord down in the description below, and also find me over on Twitch. I do live stream about 3 days a week. We play all kinds of different stuff. Either I'm playing mod packs or I'm having fun on SMPs. Just be sure to check that out. Also, check out the second channel, Chosen Live. If you like to catch the VODs but you can't catch the live streams, you can always subscribe over on the second channel. Also, like I said, link down in the description below. Guys, with that being said, it is now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to none other than JR Gaming 1997. Thank you so much for your amazing support in choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. Thank you so very much. Thanks to all of my supporters, by the way. And of course, last but not least, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, bye!